Hey, what's going on, everyone? Misha Wilson here, and welcome to the Misha Wilson Show. Now, in today's episode, I'm actually going to be answering a question from a student of mine when it comes to goal setting. That question being, how do I set goals that allow me to follow through and actually hit them so that I can continually grow the business? Now, you might have noticed the background looks a little bit different and I'm a little bit of a different setting. I'm actually in my new home here on the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, which sounds just a little bit different saying after all the years of the beautiful island Maui, Hawaii. But with that said, if my audio is a little bit funky here in today's video, my microphone was actually a casualty of the 24-hour, 18-hour trip from Maui over to Puerto Rico. And so I'm just going based with the iPhone, audio here, but I wanted to go ahead and provide value to you. So figured I'd hop on and do just that. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Welcome to the Misha Wilson Show, where we show you how to create massive success online so you can enjoy the lifestyle of your wildest dreams. All right, so once again, the question here is from a student. The question specifically is, how do I set goals that not only, is a cool goal that inspires me to play big and push and constantly kind of push the boundaries of my own personal kind of, self-imposed limitations, but also goals that allow me to get as close as humanly possible to actually hitting the goal. And I really like this question because goals are obviously critically important. They've done studies of successful, high-performing people, and essentially all the various high-performing people constantly set goals nonstop, and it's just one of the things that they do pretty much second nature. But I want to share a lesson here from a mentor when it comes to goal setting, really kind of more than goal setting, actually planning, and how the planning is what allows you to go ahead and hit your goals. So one of my mentors that actually has an event called Plan or Get Slaughtered, a guy named Keith Cunningham, one of the smartest business minds in the world, definitely the smartest business mind that I've ever worked with. He essentially says, look, the plan is worthless. Planning is the thing that is of value. And I could not agree more. And essentially, how it pertains to goal setting is that the truth is, while the goal is nice, while having the big goal, I want to build the $100 million business, I want to build the $10 million business, I want to build the $1 million business, I want to hit six figures. The goal is cool and the goal is nice and you need the goal to inspire you. The truth of the matter is, the goal is kind of like the end outcome destination, right? But if we don't know the actual streets to take, if we don't know the turns to make, if we don't know the stop sign to turn left at in order to get to our end destination, it's really at the end of the day just an end destination that we'll never actually get to. And so again, while the goal is nice, while the end result is nice, what's much more valuable is the actual roadmap and the plan of attack and the, point A, point B, point C plan that we're going to execute upon in order to go ahead and get there. Said another way, Mike Tyson always says, the quote goes, everyone has a plan until Mike Tyson punches you in the face, right? Mike Tyson's probably said it, but a little bit out of context. So at the end of the day, what you have to understand is that while the goal is nice, while having that end goal is something that we can use to inspire us and to fire us up and to motivate us because we want to play bigger, we want to grow the business, we want to, get to the next level, whatever level you may be at. The truth is that what's more valuable is the street and the path that we can walk down to get us there. And what we want to focus on in order to go ahead and define that are all of the various inputs, or what I like to call critical drivers, to help us get to the output or the KPI in business, linguistics, let's just call it. And so, think of it this way. If you're trying to lose 15 pounds, if you're trying to lose 20 pounds, if you're trying to lose 30 pounds, you're not going to wake up every single day and just get on the scale and say, God, I didn't lose any weight. God, I didn't lose any weight. Next day, God, I didn't lose any weight. What am I doing wrong? God, I didn't lose any weight. If you're doing it correctly, if you actually want to lose the weight, what you're going to do is you're going to every morning get up, you're going to have a breakfast, you're going to measure the amount of food you eat, the amount of calories you consume, You're probably going to measure the amount of carbs you consume in today's ketosis crazy world, right? You're going to measure how many workouts you do per week. You're going to measure how much you sleep at night because you burn fat when you sleep. You build muscle when you sleep. You're going to measure your activity. You're going to measure the amount of steps you take on a daily basis. And based on measuring all of those various inputs, right? The amount of activity, the amount of steps you take on a daily basis, the amount of hours you sleep, the amount of calories you do or do not eat and consume, and consistently measuring those inputs and then consistently optimizing those inputs. So walking more activity, more workouts, less calories, more sleep, less carbs, etc., and constantly improving. That in of itself is the roadmap that will get you from A to B when it comes, to the world of diet. Now, on the flip side, with the business world, the exact same thing holds true, right? Every single business, no matter what level you're at, has critical drivers. So for us in our business, where we're at right now, front-end buyers, right? People who buy our front-end, profit boosting bootcamp or the super affiliate commission blueprint offer is one of the critical drivers. So that's a huge one that I measure all the time. How many people get in contact with their advisor? That's a huge thing that we measure all the time, because if we know people get in contact with their advisor, we then know they're more likely to buy our back-end products. People who get through module 3, that's another kind of critical driver for another KPI with pro conversions, is a huge measurement that we constantly focus on within the business. And I know from my own personal experience, because we have the right advisors on staff, if I have the right amount of front-end buyers, if we get enough people in contact with their advisor, and then if we get enough people through to module 3, we will end up with the right advisors. Obviously, the strategy session is really important. We'll end up making sales when it comes to pro sales, right? So those inputs, those critical drivers, those things that we need to execute upon consistently are the things that result in the output that I'm looking for. And so instead of just focusing on the output and looking at, God, we don't have enough pro sales. God, pro sales are lagging. God, this is driving me nuts. Or we do have pro sales. I'm really happy. On the flip side, right, what I'm doing is I'm looking at, all right, today we're at 100 front-end buyers. Tomorrow I want to be at 110. Today, 60 of our 100 front-end buyers got in contact with our advisors. Tomorrow, let's try to get 75 of the 110 to increase that percentage just a little bit. Today, 50% of our front-end buyers got to module 3. What might we do to get us from 50% up to 75%? Or maybe can we reduce the friction and change the sales process just a little bit in order to make it not so necessary for the person to get to module 3, right? Measuring all of those various, inputs or KPIs, ultimately in my own personal experience, is the only thing that allows you to, at the end of the day, get to the end result and actually hit the goal. All right. Now, the other thing I want you to be aware of is every single KPI has critical drivers. Think about the KPI as the outcome, the, essentially destination that we're trying to get to. And every single critical driver can also be a KPI. So every critical driver, as an example, a front-end buyer, right? That's a KPI for our pro sales, but also there's absolutely critical drivers for that front-end buyer process. So for our front-end buyers, we want to make sure we have the right traffic. We want to make sure we have enough clicks. We want to make sure we have the right, click to lead conversion rate. So we want to have, anywhere from 35 to 45% when it comes to traffic to lead conversion rate. And then from there, we obviously want a sales conversion rate somewhere around, depending on the traffic source, anywhere from 1 to 10%. Right now, we're running a lot of YouTube stuff, Facebook stuff, solo ads still as well. But let's just use YouTube as an example. We want a sales conversion rate of right around 5% with that. And then we want one-click upsell conversions. And if we know all of those things happen, we know that we can scale our ad spends, bring in more people on the front end so that we can hit that first KPI, which is also a critical driver for the next sales process. Now, how the hell do I know all of this when it comes to my business, right? Very simply put, I've planned my business a ton, right? I've spent the time planning the business. And that's where, if we circle back to the quote, the plan is useless. Planning is where the millions are, right? Obviously, it's not the exact quote, but that's the basic gist. That's what he means when he says it. Taking the time to get clear on what the actual drivers in your business are is the most valuable time you will spend when it comes to allowing you to hit your goals. Because if you don't know the streets to take, if you don't know the street to turn left on, the street to turn right on, metaphorically speaking, to get to your end goal, your outcome, your destination, $10,000 a month in my business, as an example, there's no way you can ever get there because you're just looking at the destination without ever actually stopping, setting, and defining the roadmap and plan of action to actually get there. So with that said, hope you got a ton of value out of this video. If you did, don't forget to go ahead and let me know with a quick comment what your biggest takeaway was. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon notification button, and hit that thumbs up button if you got value out of this video. And until next time, over and out.